welcome to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, streaming worldwide and on the internet at facebook.com/Region Sports and regionsports.com. We come to you tonight from Crown Point as Pet Supplies Plus and Puntillo and Crane Orthodontics present the Middles Super Bowl as the undefeated Black Knights take on the 4-2 Light Blue Chargers. And I'm Andrew Mile, and joining me is Colin Biella. Colin, we just wrapped up our first game of the day, the Littles Super Bowl, where the Black Knights won 16-6 against the Panthers. And it looks like we're going to have another fun one here in Game 2, as the Black Knights are here again with their Middles team that have pitched a perfect season. They are 7-0, including their one playoff win after they got a bye to start this playoff round. The Knights finished 6-0. They got a bye week, came back in week 2, and they beat the Green Hornets, in which the Chargers also got a bye as they finished tied for second with the Panthers, but with them having to win over the Panthers, they then got second place altogether, and they got a bye and then played those Panthers to truly decide who was the number 2 team, and the Chargers won, but now they're playing to prove that they are the number 1 team here against a very tough opponent in these Black Knights.
Man, Andrew, as the last game showed, defense really does win championships. So with the Knights being undefeated and we got the Chargers in second place, must mean they have really good defenses.
Well, the Knights and the Chargers met all the way back in week 2 in the Black Knights' conquest of the Middle Division, when they won that game 22-12. So that was a pretty tight game, only a 10-point difference. And we're starting to see the Knights and the Chargers go to respective sides. The Chargers won the toss. They have deferred it to the second half. Black Knights will get the ball, and they'll have their backs to the north end zone. So if one game wasn't enough, we got a second one for you. Black Knights, Light Blue Chargers, Middles Super Bowl. The Knights looking to go 8-0 with 2 playoff wins and the 6 regular season wins. But again, Light Blue Chargers were the number 2 team in the league at 4-2. They're now 5-2 with their playoff win. Trying to upset the Black Knights' perfect season. It's almost like watching Super Bowl 42 when the Giants defeated the undefeated Patriots. Chargers, of course, in light blue jerseys with navy blue sleeves and black pants. The Black Knights with the black jerseys, yellow numbers, and the black pants. And here we go. Chargers have the ball teed up on their own 40-yard line. And the second Super Bowl of our triple header today is on its way. The boot to the left. It hops on the ground, and it's on the ground, and the Knights recover it pretty quickly as the return man, Parker Stanitz, was able to hop on top of it before the Chargers got there. And the Black Knights offense will start on the 32-yard line. And Colin, I'm starting to look at the Knights, and they got some big boys out there.
Yeah, they do, Andrew. Hopefully they play real well, hold those blocks so that this offense can get rolling a little bit better than the Littles did.
Well, of course, a little bit different here in the Middles. They get to play from the sidelines. The coaches can't go out there like they were in the Littles game. And here is the first play. Grayson Babjack is the quarterback. He hands it up the middle, and the Knights get a good push from their line, and they got a good chunk on the first play and a straight handoff to number 22. That's Ryan Brown as they move it up to the 39-yard line. So they got 7 yards. It's 2nd and 3. You have to think with the Black Knights having that big of a line, Colin, they're going to keep running right behind them and challenge the front 7 of the Light Blue Chargers.
Yeah, Andrew, it looks like they got more manpower right there than compared to this D-line that they got.
It's a whole lot of linemen to go around for the Light Blue Chargers. Babjack under center. He takes the snap. There's an exchange in the backfield. Cut it outside. They cut it back inside, and the Knights are going to get a first down. The carry was to Parker Stanitz, and he gets past the first down marker up to the 44, and the chains are going to be moving for the Knights. Noah Pearson coming out for the Knights on this play. It's kind of hard to miss with the all-red helmet.
Yeah, man, I really like those helmets. They all should have those.
Yeah, 66 and 59 on this team have red helmets. That's Charles Seville also here on the sidelines. Knights stack the right side. Babchak got a nice block from his running back. He cuts it back inside. He goes to the outside, and he gets pushed out at around the 50. What a nice block. I'm not sure which one it was. That might have been number 22 of the Knights, Ryan Brown, that pancaked of the initial attack and allowed his quarterback to go around him, and they are up to the 50. 6 yards for the Knights. They need 4 more for their second first down. Middle Super Bowl just starting. We'll have one more Super Bowl later on today for the Wolves and the Hornets. Babchak takes it. It's the same play. He goes to the right, cuts it back up. He makes a man miss. He actually
breaks a tackle, too?
He knocked a man over while having a guy on his back, and he got about 3 more yards because of it. 3rd and short for the Knights. They need 1 more yard to move those chains and get a fresh set of downs. But some nice running by the Black Knights. Babchak has got a good run. Ryan Brown and Parker Stanitz. But the Knights are starting to see their formation. They go under center, and they have 2 running backs in the backfield. It's almost looking like a wishbone-type offense. Knights are starting to break the huddle. First person to the ball is their center.
Empty back.
Empty back. They've stacked 3 guys to the right side. They're going to go that way with Babchak again, and Babchak gets a first down. 3 straight plays where the quarterback for the Knights has kept it, and you can move the chains. This ball is spotted inside the 45 at the 43 of the light blue Chargers. This drive started around the 31-yard line. The Knights really taking their time. This drive is going to last around 3 minutes already. But they just keep pounding the rock. But now Babchak's going to go to his left. There's a different quarterback under center. And he trips up on his own lineman. It was going to be Stanitz going to his left. And he tripped over his left tackle, it looked like. And that's going to be a loss. And it was an unenforced error by the Black Knights. Tripped over Jacob Kruger.
Man, Andrew, they really like these QB sweeps.
They do. They like to get a lot of guys out in front and stack that side and kind of telling the defense, we're going to go that way and we're going to force you to stop us.
Yeah, man. This O-line and the rest of their blockers are really holding the blocks and allowing their quarterback to keep running.
Well, now you have Babchak going back under center. 2 men in the backfield. Wide receiver to his right. And they hand it up the middle to Brown. And nothing really going there for the Knights on the last 2 plays. They lost 2 yards. They gained 1. And they're at the 44-yard line. They have to get to the 33 of the light blue Chargers. So the Knights need a big play here. You've got to see them throw a pass just yet. Again, this Knights team is undefeated, but the light blue Chargers trying to play spoiler here in the middle Super Bowl. Both teams got a bye in the first week, and then both sides won their respective semifinal games to get here. Babchak to the outside. He got a block. He's trying to cut the corner. He's got the corner. He's got a lane. He's got the first down. He's still going down the sidelines, and he's right inside the 20. What a run by Grayson Babchak, and you can move the chains for the Knights. Wow.
It's that QB sweep, man. They're holding their blocks and setting them up for it.
The ball was on the right hash. They stacked that left side, and they're just able to seal that edge, and Babchak was gone. He is quick. Chargers just looking for some answers. The Black Knights have 5:15 here in the first quarter. Andrew Mile and Combiella here on the Region Sports Network on Super Bowl Saturday from the beautiful Junior Bulldogs complexes in the hub of Lake County. Babchak Moves up to his center with the pink socks, one of my favorite traditions in sports. Hand off to Stanitz. Stanitz makes a man miss, goes around his blocker, and then gets brought down for, looks like a loss. That was a tackle by the cornerback of the light blue Chargers, and Cameron Bader. A loss of 1. That's it. Knights on the Chargers 19. They're still inside the red zone. Ball spotted in the middle of the field now. The Knights have already surpassed going halfway through the first quarter without the Chargers touching the ball just yet. They ran a lot of sweeps going outside the tackles time and time again. And they're going to fake it. They go with Babchak again. He's got one man to make a miss, and that cornerback was able to make the play. He fought with Babchak for quite some time. It was an open field tackle by Max Jefferson, the cornerback on the other side of the field. So some good cornerback play by the Chargers.
Yeah, he didn't give up on the play. He kept him wrapped up, and then he was eventually able to bring him down.
So right before that, you had the tackle by Cameron Bader on their side, and then Max Jefferson on the other side. The Knights did get a good amount of yards on the play. They're inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. They got to get to the 8. So 3rd and 6 for the undefeated Knights. Chargers, if they get a couple of stops here, they'll be feeling pretty good about themselves. Bend, don't break mentality on defense. That's not Babchak. That's a different quarterback. Going to the outside. He's cutting it upfield. He's going for the pylon. Did he get in? He did not.
They're marking him down at the 2, Andrew.
Ryan Brown got the QB sweep that time. And the Knights get a first down and a lot more. And Colin, you're spot on there on the 2. 1st and goal. This drive has lasted 6 minutes and 36 seconds.
We've seen Little do it in the real close QB sneak.
Talking about the Little Black Knights in the first Super Bowl today.
Yes, sir.
As they just punched it in on their second touchdown of the game on a QB sneak, and around the same area that the middle team is at right now. And the Black Knights are going to take a timeout. And we are going to take a brief timeout as you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Did you know?
Wow, they'll prepare fresh fish while you wait.
Did you know?
They make over 40,000 donuts from scratch every week?
Did you know?
They offer 23 different deli platters for your party?
Did you know?
They have freshly chopped fajita mix ready to cook.
Did you know?
They have the best fried chicken in the area?
Did you know?
They offer our signature curbside service 14 hours a day.
Strachan Van Til. Now you know.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
We are back here on the Region Sports Network. Andrew Mile here for your play-by-play, and Colin Biel to my left as we're enjoying a fun afternoon of Junior Bulldogs Super Bowls. As you already saw, the Little Knights win the first game 16-6 against the Panthers. And the Middle Knights have held the ball for the entire first quarter thus far, and they're on the 2-yard line. It's 1st and goal. Babchak under the center. He's going to hand it off to Brown. Brown trying to punch it in. Did he get in? They're going to mark him short. They got a yard and a half. They're inside the 1. The near side referee, he's got his foot where the ball should be. And Colin, that is literally an inch between the ball and the goal line. And the whole ball doesn't have to cross. Just the nose has to break that initial plane, and they're in.
Just let the quarterback keep it right up the middle. Just put the ball over the goal line and call it a day.
Talking about Babchak, quarterback of this team, Grayson Babchak. Very good chance this could be a QB sneak. It is an inch. It's inside the 1. Babchak, that's exactly what they're going to do. QB sweep. He's got a lane. He's in. Touchdown, Knights. Grayson Babchak takes it, goes to his left. The left tackle created a hole, and the Knights have a 6-0 lead. And that drive went for 7 minutes and 32 seconds. Wow.
Wow. They're really managing that clock.
A nice drive of 69 yards as this drive started on the 31-yard line, and they got inside the end zone after a long one. And now for the Chargers, they're finally going to get the ball, but we'll see what happens here if the Knights can convert on this 2-point conversion. Babchak gives it to his running back. Did he slip in?
Looks to be short.
He is short. They're saying it is no good on that carry by Parker Stanitz. And for the Knights, they went down the length of the field in 7:32, and they have a 6-0 lead. And the Chargers will be getting the ball back here. Well, Colin, if you're the light blue Chargers, of course, you know it's going to be a tough task. You knew that this offense was going to be tough to contain. You allowed the touchdown, but you now have an opportunity to tie the game up pretty quickly.
Yeah, Andrew. Just make sure they have good blocking. They seal their blocks, and just give it to them. All the effort you got, just hand it to them and beat them where you can.
Knights have the ball teed up on their own 40-yard line. Going back to kick form is Dean Snyder. Whistle been blown. Here we go. Here comes the kick. It's right down the middle of the field. Ball takes a roll for the Chargers, and falling on top of it is Cameron Bader. Coming off a little limpy was Jackson St. Germain as he tripped over his own guy. And here we go for the light blue Chargers. And there is a man down. It's Bader. He's slow to get up. The Knights are going to take a knee for the fallen opponent. Never want to see that. Luckily, in the first game today, we only saw one of those, and we won't waste any time. We're going to send it to a quick break. It's a Knights 6 and the Chargers nothing here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
Bader is up, and he's grabbing one of his arms.
Thankfully, he's walking off the field on his own.
He seems to be okay. He did make a nice tackle on the Black Knights drive. That resulted in 6 points for the Knights. But for the Chargers, they're getting their chance now on their own 40.
Very hopeful to see him back in the game very soon.
Talking about Bader for the light blue Chargers. Chargers send in the play. They're down 6-0. They have to respond here. You don't want to get too far behind an undefeated football team in the Black Knights. But if any team's going to do it, it's going to be this 4-2 team that beat the team they tied with a week ago in the Panthers. Chargers move up to the ball. Under center is Brady Ryan. And Brady Ryan just goes up the middle with it, and he gets a yard to the 41-yard line. Colin, we know all too much about a quarterback named Brady. So that's his last name, and Brady is his first name. As Brady Ryan goes over to the sideline, gets the play call, and he's going to sprint right on back. 6-0 Knights. Chargers getting their first chance at moving down the field. Andrew Mile, Colin Biella here on the Region Sports Network. They break the huddle. A couple of men in the backfield. Now in the center is Vuk Stanojevic. And he's going to get the carry up the middle as he moves to the 44, 45, 4-yard gain. And it's 3rd down and 5 for the Chargers. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. This might be the last play of this first quarter, as the play clock starts at 35 here at Junior Bulldogs. And we're around 35 seconds. 3rd down for the Chargers. A big play here. Trying to get a fresh set of downs. There's a man in the gun. And there's going to be a keeper to the right. Trying to bounce it outside, and he gets whipped down. It was Cameron Bader. They came back into the game for the Chargers.
Going to send him up a yard short.
Jackson St. Germain made the tackle from the safety spot, and it is going to be 4th and short. And we're under 10 seconds. That is the last play of the first quarter. They're going to flip the field. They have to go too far because it's only on the 49, so they're going to move the ball to the other 49, just 2 yards away. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back. It's the Knights 6 and the Chargers nothing on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the Nika Contractors and Electrical Workers of Local 531.
Puntillo and Crane Orthodontics give you a smile you can be proud of. At Puntillo and Crane, they know what you look for in an orthodontist. Dr. Anthony Puntillo, Dr. Christopher Crane, and Dr. Carolyn Gardner use state-of-the-art technology and cutting-edge treatment options to create your smile. Visit pncsmiles.com and schedule a complimentary consultation at any one of their 4 locations: Crown Point, Maryville, Valparaiso, or Cherville. Puntillo and Crane Orthodontics, creating life-changing smiles.
It's 4th down and 1 to go. Adrian Cambiella, Bader under center, and that's going to be a false start. Bader can't believe it. His left guard jumped off sides. So instead of 4th and 1, it's going to be 4th and 6. That hurts. They even got the Knights to jump off sides, but the left guard was the first one to go. I do like the call there from the Chargers to go for a hard count. They were just one left guard away from getting a first down without running a play. You can't make too many mistakes in the Super Bowl, especially against a team like the Knights that is undefeated. It's 4th and 6. They're going to go for it. They're on their own 44. Bader in the gun. Running back to his sidecar. A good snap to Bader. Bader going to his right. He cuts it outside. He's got the first down. He's going down the sidelines, and he stepped out. But Bader got the first down. He stepped out way back at the 46. And the Chargers are going to move the chains. Well, that's good news for the Chargers that Bader, who got injured on the kickoff, came back into the game because he just made a really nice play to get the first down. 9:20 to go in the second quarter. Watching the Region Sports Network, game 2 of a triple header of the Super Bowl. Saturday in Crown Point, Indiana. I'm talking about Crown Point. The Crown Point high school football team finished their regular season 9-0 this year. So congratulations to them as they get ready for sectionals in the game against Portage next week. Bader to the right is another QB power. And it's up to the 41. So 5 yards on the play. That's the Tim Tebow special, as you would say, Colin.
Nobody could do it.
Give him a couple of Heismans, and maybe they'll do it just as good as Tim Tebow.
I think they
Long quarterback. Florida.
Crosstrek. 97% of Subaru.
Check out the new Subarus at Castle Subaru in Portage.
Are you a steel hauler? Come work for Area Transportation. You must have a current valid Class A commercial driver's license and at least 1 year of recent verifiable steel hauling experience and at least 2 years of recent verifiable interstate experience operating a commercial motor vehicle. Call recruiting.
Bader hands it off to the outside, and it's a first down. St. Germain swings them around. They gave it to Max Jefferson, and the Chargers are going to move the chains again. And there is a man down. The helmet is even off. He's down on the ground, and you wonder if he just got slammed on the ball. Jefferson.
Oh, there he is. He's right back up.
Gets up. He put his helmet back on.
He's got the wind knocked out of him. That's all.
Yeah, it looks like St. Germain, the safety of the Knights, swung him down right on top of the pigskin, and that never feels good. Even seen some NFL players have a hard time with that. They're some of the toughest athletes in all sports. Middle Super Bowl. We're in the second quarter, 8:18 to go. Knights up 6-0. They had a 7-minute drive to start the game. The Chargers are trying to respond. They've gotten a couple of first downs. They've been running the ball effectively with their quarterback, Cameron Bader. Bader's under the center. He hands it off. And a good push by the line. There's St. Germain again. And they're going to go inside the 30, just outside the 25 of Knights territory. That was a handoff to the running back wearing the very noticeable green gloves. And that's Cutler Elrich. Second down. Need just about 5 yards here. Knights up 6-0. Chargers trying to finish the Knights season with them getting their first loss. There's a handoff to the fullback this time, who cuts up field, and he may have gotten a first down, or he might be just short.
How often do you see a fullback dive nowadays?
How often do you even see a fullback nowadays, let alone them getting the ball?
Yeah, true. You know, I feel like it's just a underrated position. I feel like they're actually really crucial.
It's a first down, but yeah, there's still just a few fullbacks left in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers have Derek Watt. He plays fullback. And then the Ravens have a pretty good fullback, but they've always been able to develop pretty good fullbacks throughout the years. But that's a team that really likes to run the football.
Yeah.
Receiver to the right, one to the left. There's a running back in the backfield. And they're going to do another end around here. A good block by number 52 of the Chargers. Tackled by the Knights. And another good running play by the Chargers. They can do whatever they want on offense right now. And there's a nice pancake by Luca Fanton. Always have to give a lineman as much credit as they can. They don't touch the ball. So when they have a nice block up field, you got to give them a shout out as much as you can. The unspoken heroes of football. 6-0 Knights. Almost halfway through the second quarter. And the Chargers are inside the red zone. They're on the 18. And these two teams met all the way back in week 2. Knights won 22-12. It was a close game. Just a 10-point difference between the two teams. They go under center. It's a QB sneak.
Oh,
and it looks like it could be a first down.
I think there's a flag on the play. Yep, there's a flag on the play.
False start on the Chargers. That's been thrown here on the near sideline, my one blind spot. So I'm glad you picked it up, Colin.
Oh, man, I seen it in the corner of my eye.
So instead of a first down, the Chargers are going to get bounced back to the 23-yard line. They got to get to the 18. Andrew Mild, Colin Biella. Knights and Chargers middle Super Bowl. As the Black Knights already won game 1 today with the Littles winning the Super Bowl championship. Already seen some Maroon Wolves file in on field B, on field A on the other side for their big Super Bowl against the Hornets later today. Handoff up the middle, and there's a tackle by the Knights. Tackle was made by number 50, but I'm not seeing a 50 on the roster sheet. But we'll say his number so he gets a shout out. So we know we knew it was him, just don't have his name in front of us. But another person there was Leonard Jerkowski, number 52, that was also on the tackle. At least we can say his name. It's third down on the 21-yard line of the Black Knights. They're going to go to the left side with their quarterback. He had a few blockers in front of him. He slips past the guy, and he's all the way up to the 16. Fourth down and short. It's been busy for Cameron Bader after he came off the bench after being hurt on the kickoff. They may go back to Bader here again to try and get this fourth down conversion. 3:40 and ticking away. The Knights faithful trying to will their defense to get a fourth down stop. Pounding their feet, ringing their bells. Chargers being very quiet on their side. They'll make sure that their offense can hear. Bader going for the hard count. And there was a flinch.
He draws them.
There was a flinch, and it is a neutral zone infraction on the Black Knights. First down, Chargers. And the Knights coach is upset, rightfully so. That's something you work on every day in practice, and we know. We've been there.
And then if you mess up, you got to
more
do up downs.
Up down than sprints.
Tree and back.
And it was even just your team. It was the entire little middle and big division. Chargers go for a QB power. And they wrangle them up just past the 10-yard line up to the 5. They keep going to Bader, and Bader has just all the room in the world to make as many moves as he can. The front push by the Chargers' offensive line has just been phenomenal this far.
Yeah, man, both offenses have been really good so far. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left of the second quarter, and we're only on each have their first drive of the game.
Bader going back up the middle. He cuts it outside,
the
and he's
tackle.
in for the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers, as Bader bolts into the end zone, and we're tied at 6. But let's see what the Chargers can do on this 2-point conversion. The Knights defense had no answer for Cameron Bader. They kept giving him the ball, and he kept running the ball effectively. As the Chargers cheerleaders getting pumped up on their side. Ball spotted at the 2.5-yard line. The Knights did not convert on their 2-point conversion. If the Chargers can convert, they take a lead. Bader in the gun. Low snap. Goes to his left. And did he get in? He does. He extends the ball, crosses the plane, and the Chargers take an 8-6 lead on the Knights. What a turn of events here in the second quarter, Colin.
Man, Andrew, it's just the run game. It's been incredible all day, from the littles to the middles. they keep pounding the ball, and it doesn't get any worse.
Well, it was just the same play over and over again, and if it's not broke, don't fix it.
No.
Cameron Bader takes the ball, goes to the left, and it was effective every time they ran that play. And they worked to get the touchdown, then it worked to get that 2-point conversion. And with 2:18 to go, the Knights have 2 timeouts to work with. And just a reminder that the Chargers do get the ball to start the second half because they deferred after they won the toss. So that's also something you got to think about if you're the Black Knights, and they're going to try and be aggressive. The Knights did not throw any passes. I don't think we've seen a pass yet in this game.
Nope, it's just been the quarterbacks running, and it's been amazing runs every time.
Running plays by Grayson Babchak of the Knights and Cameron Bader of the Chargers. Chargers set that up on the left hash on the 40. Here's their kick. It's a boot down the sidelines, and it goes out of bounds. So that means that it is a flag. So we'll see what they spot this. It goes out of bounds at around the 32-yard line. Only 1 second ran off the clock. It's at 2:17. And, of course, when the kicker kicks the ball out of bounds, it is an automatic penalty. That's at any level. And it will start at the
looks like
38. It looks around the 38-yard line. The Knights looked good on offense, but the Chargers responded, and they've taken the lead because they converted the 2-point conversion. The Green Hornets are here. Saw them arrive. The Maroon Wolves, you can see it just off to our left. That's going to be our last game of the day. The Green Hornets and Maroon Wolves for the big Super Bowl.
Getting chillier and chillier by every minute.
It is. The sun is starting to set from Crown Point. Babchak to the left. Cornerback pushing him outside. Nice stiff arm, as Colin mentioned, by Babchak. Babchak gets tackled, and he ran around, it felt like 15 yards, but he gained 2. 2nd and 8 at the 40.
Well, with 1:32 left, I think they should start passing the ball a little bit. Don't you think?
I would agree. You have 90 seconds to go. The Black Knights, they're down 2 points. The way that the Chargers moved the ball, it was really easy for them. Every time that Bader got the ball, he had plenty of good blocks in front of him. Some great trench work by his O-lineman. And it looks like they're going to throw here. Slow snap. Babchak's had to go for it. It's still on the ground. He just falls on top of it at the 30. They lost a lot. They lost 10 yards on a bad snap. It was almost like a ground ball in baseball. And Colin kind of shocked that the Chargers haven't elected to at least burn a timeout here on 3rd and forever. Well, Babchak gets his play call. He's going over to the huddle now to communicate to his teammates as we have 35 seconds to go. The undefeated Knights are trailing by 2. They have 2 timeouts to work with. The Chargers also have 2 timeouts. Babchak, under center. They stack the right side. They're going to go to that right side. Actually, it's not Babchak. It is Stanitz. Stanitz is still on his feet.
Tackle.
He goes to his left. He gets brought down. He's up to the 35. So they got 5 yards on the play. And it is
6 seconds left of the quarter.
3rd down, and that is going to do it for the first half. Actually, it's a late timeout. The Knights just burned a late timeout. It is 4th down from their own 35. Why do you think the Knights took a timeout here?
Hail Mary, man.
Hail
Just
Mary.
Throw it up. The Chargers get the ball to start the second half.
Do you think Grayson Babchak has an arm that can go 60 yards down the field?
Man, they don't got to go 60 yards.
Yeah, you got to go 65.
Well, the ball don't got to travel that far.
That's true. The ball is on the right hash, so there's a good chance it may try to set something up where they go to the wide side of the field and the left side.
Maybe we'll see an elite receiver just get free.
We're waiting for the Knights to see if they do have an elite receiver. Maybe Odell Beckham Jr. That's why he's been waiting so long to sign with any team. He's just going to join the Black Knights here in the middle Super Bowl. If you see a big number 13 walk onto the field, you know it's Odell Beckham.
That'd be a sight to see.
That would be very interesting.
Justin Hubert, Odell are out here. Oh, man.
That Odell would be taller than his coaches in playing in the game. Well, here we go. Last play of the first half. Babchak under center. He's going to keep it going to his left. There goes the clock. Babchak, he's still going. He's got a block. He got to his right, and he gets pushed out of bounds at the 45. It really does not matter because that is the end of the first half. What an exciting one. It's the Chargers 8 and the Knights 6 going into halftime. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for the halftime show here for the Middle Super Bowl at the Junior Bulldogs facilities. You're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Did you know?
They decorate over 210,000 cakes a year.
Did you know?
Their butcher will cut your meat your way.
Did you know?
They have trained floral designers in store.
Did you know?
They will make your wedding cake.
Did you know?
They have a variety of deli bakeable entrees.
Did you know?
Their online app has coupons and so much more. Who does that?
Strachan Van Til. Now you know.
This box is small, like Pet Supplies Plus. This one is large, like a big box store. In each, Stu, has carefully hidden a toy. Question is, which dog will find it first? Ta-da! Moose, no! You were so close.
Are you a steel hauler? Come work for Area Transportation. You must have a current valid Class A commercial driver's license and at least 1 year of recent verifiable steel hauling experience and at least 2 years of recent verifiable interstate experience operating a commercial motor vehicle. Call recruiting at 1-855-400-6939. That's 1-855-400-6939.
From schools to stadiums, hospitals and bridges. Everywhere you look, union carpenters are building Indiana. With jobs and skilled trades in high demand, there's never been a better time to start building your future. As an apprentice, you'll earn a debt-free college degree, earn while you learn, and receive great benefits like healthcare and retirement. So what are you waiting for? Visit carpenters.com to learn more. Visit carpenters.com and start building your future today.
A sudden injury or illness can happen anytime. When it does, feel better fast. Urgent care at Pinnacle Hospital. We have a network of highly qualified physicians, and your wait is minutes, not hours. We offer on-site laboratory and radiology services. We accept most insurance, Medicare, and Medicaid, plus the biggest cash pay discount in Northwest Indiana. We're recognized by Press Ganey in the top 3% in the country for customer satisfaction. Feeling better fast. Urgent care at Pinnacle Hospital.
Pet Supplies Plus in Crown Point is powering today's live video of the 2022 Junior Bulldogs Super Bowls right here in the Region Sports Network. Pet Supplies Plus in Crown Point. Stop by at 1676 East Summit Street in Crown Point. Or visit them on the page at PetSuppliesPlus.com. Angel Mild and Colin Biela here at halftime. We have 6 minutes to go before we're back to football here at the Junior Bulldogs facilities. And Colin, Black Knights, they went down the field, scored a touchdown. The Chargers responded, but they got the 2-point conversion. That's why they have an 8-6 lead. But you already said it. Both sides really like to utilize their quarterbacks to run the ball.
Yeah, man. They've been just keeping the QB sweeps going. The blocks have been there. It's able to keep the drive going and keeping the time running.
You're talking about Grayson Babchak for the Knights. And then, of course, for the Chargers, it was Cameron Bader. But for Bader, he looked good on his drive because his O-line, as you mentioned, they did a phenomenal job.
Oh, yeah, man. They both have, let's be honest, though. But, like I said, during break, they really only 2 drives.
Yeah, really just 2 drives.
The whole game, or whole first half.
Because for the Knights, they had just short of a first down, but it was the end of the half anyway, so it really didn't matter if they got the first down or not because they needed to score a touchdown or nothing. But now we're going into the second half, and in the last game, we were kind of in a similar spot. The Knights were trailing the Panthers 6-0. They came back and won it 16-6. But, hey, who knows? Maybe the Chargers make some good adjustments. They stop Babchak, and maybe they stop the Knights and finish the season with a championship and spoiling the Knights' perfect season.
Like you said before, the Giants did it to Tom Brady and his Patriots. They're looking to do the same thing to the Black Knights.
Kind of goes to show you that anything can happen in football. And for me, you hear some of these teams that had perfect seasons going on for a long time. And when they get their first loss, they usually say it feels like a lot of weight was lifted off our backs. There's a lot of pressure when you are an undefeated team for quite some time, and everybody has an X on your back.
Yeah, man, it's because you're held to high standards because you're playing real well and you're going to keep going. And they just look for you to keep winning and not lose.
So if you're the coach of the Chargers, what's it going to take to dethrone these Black Knights and celebrate a championship with your team?
Spread the outside linebackers a little bit, contain the quarterback, keep them going inside because you got those big linemen there, the big D linemen there. They'll stop the run from the inside.
And if you're the Black Knights, what is it going to take to come back and win the second half and then win a championship and a perfect season all in one?
Keep the momentum they're going. That right before the half ended, they looked good. If they had more time, they would have definitely scored again.
Well, it's a fair note that the Chargers won the toss. They deferred it, and we'll get it for the second half. So when we come back out of halftime, the Chargers, who have an 8-6 lead, will get a chance to build upon that lead. We are going to send it to a break, and when we come back, more football from Crown Point, Indiana. You're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Don't go anywhere.
This box is small, like Pet Supplies Plus. This one is large, like a big box store. In each, Stu, has carefully hidden a toy. Question is, which dog will find it first? Ta-da! Moose, no! You were so close.
Let Puntillo & Crane Orthodontics give you a smile you can be proud of. At Puntillo & Crane, they know what you look for in an orthodontist. Dr. Anthony Puntillo, Dr. Christopher Crane, and Dr. Carolyn Gardner use state-of-the-art technology and cutting-edge treatment options to create your smile. Visit pncsmiles.com and schedule a complimentary consultation at any one of their 4 locations: Crown Point, Maryville, Valparaiso, or Cherryville. Puntillo & Crane Orthodontics, creating life-changing smiles.
Did you know?
They decorate over 210,000 cakes a year.
Did you know?
Their butcher will cut your meat your way.
Did you know?
They have trained floral designers in store.
Did you know?
They will make your wedding cake.
Did you know?
They have a variety of deli bakeable entrees.
Did you know?
Their online app has coupons and so much more. Who does that?
Strachan Van Til. Now you know.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits. And as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Super Bowl Saturday. We are back getting ready for the second half of the Middles Super Bowl. Angel Mild and Colin Bailey here on the call and with you all day here in the afternoon on a chilly but beautiful Saturday afternoon from Crown Point, Indiana. A realistically good weather day if you're a football player. You have the sun keeping you warm, but also the wind to keep you chilly.
That sun's hitting now.
But, yeah, there's no sun, but at least the wind has seemed to have subsided since the beginning of the game when it was at 14 miles per hour blowing into the northeast. as the Knights are trying to get pumped up. They're down 2 points. The Chargers, they're still on their far corner. They're up 2 points, and they're in a spot where if they can hold on for the second half, they can walk away with a trophy, a championship trophy against the Knights. But don't go anywhere after this game. We'll have one more game on a different stream where the Maroon Wolves and the Green Hornets will close out the 2022 season here at the Junior Bulldogs. And one of the first things we heard announced today here up at the booth that this is the 70th annual Super Bowl. Incredible. 70 years of Junior Bulldogs football. How many Crown Point kids that come and play football here at not just this facility, but prior facilities that they had here?
Oh, man.
Remember when we started all the way back, it was all grass field?
You'd come to practice, it'd be pouring rain. You would love it because Mom and Dad had to clean your uniforms, tore up their car with all the mud.
Mom and Dad would have to get towels and lay them down so you didn't get their leather seats all dirty.
Yeah, they needed more than that once you got with your boys and you started sliding through it. You were head to toe.
Well, there's only also one field, too. There was no two fields back in the day.
That is true, and that's the field that we're on right now.
That's the field we're on right now. This is the original field. That's where they play. Every Super Bowl has been played.
We played in the grass, and then we played in the first year they had turf, man.
Yes. We won that year.
Yeah, and they gave us a piece of the turf.
Oh, ball on the ground, and it's Bader going to the outside. He's trying to get to the sidelines. He does, makes a man miss, and he gets tackled out of bounds by number 44 of the Knights. That's Dean Snyder. The Chargers start in Knights territory just outside the 45-yard line at the 46. So here we go, Colin, second half.
Best half.
It is the best half, the most important half. Knights and Chargers getting ready. One team will walk away a champion. Who's it going to be?
I'm going to be honest, Andrew. I might have to put on some pads and start running around to warm up.
Already itching at the bit to get out there and play some football with some of the fans that have brought their own footballs today and have been playing catch on the field in between halves.
Yeah, I know. I hope they stick around for that last game. I'm trying to go beat them up a little bit.
One receiver to the right, one to the left. Bader is under center, trying to get a hard count, and he gets it successfully.
That's 2 out of 3 times that they've got that.
Charles Seville, the edge rusher, jumped offside, so the Chargers start with a 5-yard gain without snapping the football. I know another number 12 that's also really good at a hard count, except he wears green and gold. So the ball goes from the 46 to the 41. Of course, I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. 1st and 5
I heard that was your favorite
for the Chargers, and that would be falsely accused. You're told the wrong report.
Oh.
They stack the left side of the line. They're going to hand it off to that side, and a tackle just at the line of scrimmage. He was stonewalled by Casper Seville. One of the few times you've seen a different player run the ball than the quarterback, Cameron Bader. It's now 2nd and 5 for the Chargers. Chargers have the 2-point advantage. So the Knights are trailing by 2. And their perfect season's on the line. Last game of the year, the Chargers the only team in their way from that perfect season. And the Chargers, they have not made it easy on them. They drove down 60 yards for their touchdown, got the 2-point conversion. Bader is in the gun. He's got the running back to his right side car, and they stack that right side with a couple of split ends. They go to that right side. Bader trying to stretch it out. The cornerback crashes in. Bader cuts it back in. Makes a man miss. He's still going. He's going down the sidelines. He's broken free. And he finally gets brought down by Grayson Babjack, his counterpart at quarterback. That is a huge play by Bader. He got a good push. And after that, he says, don't worry, guys. I can do this myself. And they're knocking on the door of the red zone. They're actually way inside the red zone. They're at the 16. Bader's really had himself a game. And he's putting his team in a spot where they could upset the Knights and take home a title. 7:37 to go in the third. The Chargers break the huddle. Bader in the pistol. You got receivers to the left and to the right. And he's going to hand it off to the outside. It was a handoff to number 34. The Black Knights trip him up after a 2-yard gain. That was Max Jefferson who gets the call. Just 2 yards. And it's 2nd and 8 for light blue. One thing that we noticed coming into the game today, Colin, is how these jerseys have changed in quite some time since we've been here.
Man, I love them.
They are
so
some
good looking.
really nice uniforms.
I like how they have their logos on the side of their shoulders. Back in the day, we didn't have those.
The Black Knights have the Black Knight on their right and left, their shoulder pads, and the Chargers, of course, have the lightning bolt. Made, of course, very popular by the NFL franchise, the Los Angeles Chargers. Bader to the left. The lineman gets a hand on him, but he gets right past him. Bader's still going, and he's short of the goal line. Cameron Bader, man, he is not an easy man to bring down.
Down at the 2-yard line.
First and goal from the 2. The Chargers are not making it very easy for the Knights. They're just stacking that side and running it that way. Running away from the big linemen that the Knights have. And then you got a convoy in front that's getting into the 2nd and 3rd levels of the Knights defense. And when you only have 2 guys that can try and make a play on Bader, Bader usually wins it. He's been making some nice open field plays.
Like you said earlier, the offensive linemen, they always deserve credit, and they've been doing very well today.
They stack that left side again. This is how they scored the first time. Bader to the left, and he is in for the touchdown, Chargers. What a start. Chargers, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. They have a 14-6 lead. And the light blue fans on the far side are getting pumped up. Someone even had a sign that had a home-drawn lightning bolt. A lot better than what I could have done.
Don't worry, Andrew. I can't draw either.
That's why we're talking today. 14-6 Chargers. If they get a 2-point conversion, they'll have a 10-point lead and make it a 2-possession game. Bader to the left, and the Knights finally have a response for it. A tackle in the backfield. That was number 22, Ryan Brown of the Knights.
You've been watching T.J. Watt's celebrations out there.
He was very pumped up to finally have an answer to Cameron Bader coming in from the right side. Bader going to his left and making a big tackle. And not only that, Colin, but he's kept it at an 8-point game, 14-6.
That's what they needed. They needed to keep it at a 1-possession game.
Well, the Knights did score on their first drive, and on their second drive, they were moving the ball, but of course they just ran out of time. And there was also a bad snap that pushed them back. But the Chargers are going to have to kick it back to the Black Knights for the Knights' first drive of this second half as they trail by 8. Again, you're watching the Region Sports Network on the beautiful autumn afternoon on this weekend. It's the Black Knights in the middle division take on these light blue Chargers. And then after, we'll have the Wolves and the Hornets for the big Super Bowl to conclude a jam-packed Saturday. Hoping that you are staying warm wherever you are and enjoying some Junior Bulldogs football wherever you are watching. A lot of people are probably watching it bundled up, enjoying some football, maybe enjoying some wings on Saturday. It's an onside kick. Ball's rolling, and I don't think he touched the ball. Bader is on top of it. It didn't get to the 50, and number 59 of the Knights had crashed in, but Colin, I don't think he ever touched the ball.
I don't believe he touched it either, Andrew.
It was Charles Seville that ran in for the Knights, never touched it, and the ball is down at the 49 of the light blue. Well, here we go for the Knights. There's not been too many times this season, Colin, where the Knights have trailed. And some of the best teams ever, they know how to come back when they're from behind. Remember that year the Chiefs won the Super Bowl? Every game they were in, they were trailing at some point or another. They were even down as far as 21 points against the Houston Texans in the divisional round that season.
It all starts with the quarterback.
Babchak trying to get to the edge. He's a stiff arm, and that's a rough tackle, and that's a horse collar. Flags are flying everywhere. It was Bader that got the tackle, but calling from my angle, that was a definite horse collar.
Oh, yeah. He definitely grabbed him by the back of the shoulder pads and yanked him down.
There was a flag where the horse collar was, but another one came from the other side of the field. And they are going to call a horse collar on the Chargers. And the Chargers coach is upset.
There has to be another flag, though.
This might be offsetting. And they're calling a face mask on the Knights. So they're offsetting penalties.
Wow.
So my question is, who got called for the face mask? Was it the quarterback, Babchak?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Wait, would you? I don't know. You couldn't see him grab it.
It was tough for us to see it, and of course, you don't get too many instant replays. But for the Knights and the Chargers, both ways they got called for a personal foul for grabbing a face mask and a horse collar. And either way, it just doesn't matter. That play just gets wiped away. Knights are still on the 49. Babchak going to his right. He cuts it upfield. He cuts it back to the outside, and he's tackled in the backfield by Max Jefferson, the cornerback. And Babchak, the quarterback, not happy. Even some of the Knights fans are yelling for them to block, and you can hear it in our headset. You probably can hear it at home. Second down and long now for the Knights.
You might be frustrated at quarterback, but you got to keep your cool. You're the leader of this offense right now.
Well, for the last two plays, the Knights have not been able to get into that second level and seal off the edge because it was Bader that made the play before that, before he got called for a horse collar, and then here Max Jefferson on this side made the tackle. Babchak under center, receiver to his right, running back to the backfield. It's a pitch.
Good double team block.
And they're going to get back to the 50 as it was a pitch to Marker Stanitz. And it looks like the Knights are just a yard behind where this drive had started. They're on the midfield stripe, the 50. They're down 8 points. The Chargers' offense has looked mightily good. And if the Knights don't have a response to the Chargers' touchdown and the Chargers get the ball back, it might be the end for the Knights. We'll see. A lot can happen in football. Under center. Handed off up the middle to Brown. Brown still going. And he falls backwards up to the 42-yard line. And Colin, here we go. It's 4th and 2 for the Knights.
Out of all the years I've been watching football, I don't think I've ever seen that play. That was a great play right there.
Yeah, he lined up in the slot, came around, and took the handoff.
I thought he was a tight end, to be honest.
I think maybe Andy Reid may have to give the Black Knights a round of applause for their creativity on offense. And some players are taking a knee, and it looks like there could be an injury on the Knights. And it looks like the coaches are coming out, and maybe it is an equipment malfunction on Browns. They're looking at his helmet. Actually, no, it is an injury. Here comes the trainer, and Colin, I don't know if I like this. They're looking in his eyes. I'm wondering, I don't want to speculate at all, but I'm wondering if maybe they're going to check him for a concussion.
Oh, let's hope not, Andy.
I hope not.
That is the worst thing that could ever happen in
Because
football.
he's walking slowly to the sidelines with the trainer coming with them over to the bench area. He looked fine. He was standing, and we were wondering why the whistle was being blown, because usually when you see an injury, you look, and usually there's somebody down, but for Brown, he's sitting down, they're looking in his eyes, and usually that's the first sign you have to look for.
He's a trooper, man.
Stanitz under center, and the Knights are going to have to take a timeout. There was some discombobulation by the team. Babchak was lined up as the running back. He was jumping up and down, and he just was not happy. And they're looking over to the sideline to see if Brown can come back into the game after he was brought out. Even some of the coaches are coming over here to this near sideline as he's being checked out. He did fall backwards, and he was able to get up, which is good news. In that scary situation that happened in Cincinnati a few weeks ago on Thursday Night Football with the Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. And, with the way that we now know how head injuries affect football players, you see coaches and referees and trainers taking concussions way more seriously now than they did decades ago.
Oh, yeah, and as they should. The brain is the most important part of a human's body.
Without a brain, you can't function, obviously.
I mean, I do pretty well at it, Andrew.
Well, it is fourth down for the Knights. If you look back onto the field, they're still checking out Ryan Brown of the Knights here on the sideline, hoping he can come back into the game. But they're going to do all they can to make sure he can. Stanitz under center. A pitch to Babchak. He gets a block. Babchak is going backwards, and the Chargers turn the Knights away. It's Jefferson for the Chargers making the play again. And Colin, the Chargers are putting the Knights on upset alert here in the middle Super Bowl.
It's the beauty of football, Andrew. Anything can happen.
It's not like baseball or basketball, where if you lose, you can come back the next day and get another shot. Baseball and basketball, usually you see a best 4 out of 7. You have to win 4 times. That means the other side, if they lose the game, they can just come back and bounce. But in football, it's one and done. You get one shot, and there's a lot of pressure that comes to that.
They just need to spread the linebackers out and force them into the middle.
The Knights are 7-0, but they can start to see their perfect seasons fading away. Cameron Bader, who's had a great game, is under center, and now the referee is calling a timeout because of a late substitution, it looks like. So they've blown the play dead, and they're going to let action resume as Jace Blinkley comes into the game to play corner. Bader under the center in the I formation. They hand it off to Jefferson. Jefferson bounces off a guy like a pinball and moves up to the 49. 2 yards were gained, and that was all for the light blue Chargers. And the Chargers are up 8 points with 100 seconds to go in the third quarter. Again, the Knights are undefeated. The Chargers finished this season 4-2, tied with the Panthers, but with a win against those Panthers, they automatically got second and a bye week. Then they got the win last week against the Panthers, the team they tied with, to get to the Super Bowl. They're taking on the Knights, who also got the bye week and defeated the Hornets to get here. And this is the last game of the season. All on the line for the two teams. Bader under center. He's going to keep it, and they finally were able to bring him down at the 50, a 1-yard gain. 3rd and 7. The Knights were able to find an answer for Bader on the 2-point conversion. A nice tackle from the right side. And they were able to wrangle him up before he started going downhill. But once Bader gets into an open field, that's when you find yourself in trouble.
Keep him inside the tackles.
3rd and 7 from the midfield stripe. Knights are trailing by 8. This is going to be the last play of the third quarter, it looks like, because we're under 35 seconds. And the Chargers have the lead and the ball. They stack the left side. This looks like it's going to be a QB power. Exactly what it is. Bader going to the left. He's going to get the first down and plenty more. It's a foot race down the sidelines. He's inside the 20, and he is brought down inside the 15. They have no answer for Cameron Bader and the QB power. The Knights are speechless. And that is it. There's no more time left on the third quarter. We head to the fourth. It's the Chargers 14 and the Knights 6. As you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Ethos Dental Group in Munster, Crown Point, and Cedar Lake offers a full scope of general and cosmetic dentistry with expertise ranging from porcelain veneers to dental implants, crowns, and bridges. At Ethos Dental Group, you're assured that Dr. Mark Stojkovic and his associates, Dr. Emily Hansen and Dr. Brian Douts, utilize the latest in technology. Check out ethosdentalgroup.com or call 219-595-3432 to schedule an appointment. Ethos Dental Group, Munster, Crown Point, and Cedar Lake.
Are you a steel hauler? Come work for Area Transportation. You must have a current valid Class A commercial driver's license and at least 1 year of recent verifiable steel hauling experience and at least 2 years of recent verifiable interstate experience operating a commercial motor vehicle. Call recruiting at 1-855-400-6939. That's 1-855-400-6939.
Fourth quarter, the final quarter of this middle Super Bowl. If you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town, Andrew Mild and Colin Biella, as we're getting close to closing out our second game before the third and final one between the Wolves and Hornets. But Colin, looks like we got some good news here from the Black Knights sideline. Ryan Brown is back into the game.
It's amazing news. This is probably going to be the biggest time of his life. I mean, he has 1 more year of 3 more years of football left in the Junior Bulldogs program. You know, Super Bowls aren't guaranteed to make every year. This is the biggest moment in your life, and we're thankful he didn't get a concussion.
Biggest moment of his life so far for the very young Ryan Brown. As he was getting evaluated for a concussion, it looked like, on the sidelines. And he's back into the game. He did a little running. They checked his balance, and he's good to go. He's back into the game. You see him out there with the long black sleeves, again lined up in his linebacker position. Bader dropping back. He's in the gun now. And they're going to go to that left power again. He cuts it outside. He got the sidelines. The Knights are there, and they push him out after about a 4 or 5 yard gain at around the 10.
You said earlier, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's almost as though we're watching the Madden play calls. Once you find a play you like, you keep running it until the other guy figures it out. And for the Knights, they have just not figured out that play yet.
Even if they figure it out, I still run it.
Well, they're down to the 10. Fresh set it down, start them at the 14, so it was getting a 4. 2nd and 6. And there's a whistle. And now the Knights are going to have another injury timeout. The referees blew the play dead before the Chargers even broke the huddle. And that's Dean Snyder. And once again, the Knights have a trainer come back in to check on one of their players. And Snyder's walking a little slow. Hopefully he's okay. Well, the Knights are down 8. The Chargers are marching down the field. They're on the 10. If they score a touchdown here, that's going to be brutal for the chances of the Knights coming back in this game. Some cloud coverage now. When we started today, it was all blue skies and some wind, but it's starting to get colder and colder. It's supposed to be in the 40s when we get to the big Super Bowl after this. So bundle up wherever you are at tonight.
Well, at the buy the concession stand about with hot chocolate.
Bader to the left. He's getting pushed back. He's still going, and he gets pushed from behind by St. Germain. And it's 3rd down for light blue. They are just a few yards behind the first down marker. They're spotting that ball at the 7-yard line. They got to get to the 4, so 3rd and 3. But every time the Chargers get the ball, it seems as though they're going to keep running that same play, a QB power to the left with Cameron Bader. And there's Bader again. But this time they're going to stack the right side. The ball is on the left hash, so that's the wide side of the field. Bader takes it. He's going to go to that right. He's trying to cut back inside. He's found a lane, and he's found the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers. Incredible. Cameron Bader, have yourself a Super Bowl, young man. He's put his team in a 20-6 lead. That is now 20 unanswered points by the Chargers. They have scored on every drive in this game. The Black Knights can feel their perfect season slipping away. And the Chargers are going to talk about this 2-point conversion because, Colin, if you look at that scoreboard, if they can get this here, that might be it because that'd be a 16-point lead. The Knights would have to score 2 touchdowns and convert 2 2-point conversions.
Yeah, Andrew. I mean, they got 8 minutes on the clock. They have to come down, drive down the field, score a touchdown as fast as possible. But how their next defensive possession is what's going to determine this game.
Both sides have burned a timeout in the second half now. For just tuning in, thanks for joining us. Black Knights' little team won the first Super Bowl today, 16-6. We're in the middle Super Bowl right now where the lights have turned on. Football under the lights here in the beautiful Hoosier State in northwest Indiana. Chargers are up 20-6. They're going for a 2-point conversion here. We'll have one more game after this. We'll be on a different stream between the Green Hornets and the Maroon Wolves. Bader's got stacked to the left side. Low snap. And Bader's going to hand it off to Jefferson. Jefferson's got one man to beat. He's trying to get to the pylon. He gets it. Max Jefferson tacks on 2 more points for Light Blue. And they have built a 16-point lead here from Crown Point. Well, Colin, the Black Knights, they're down 16 points. They need a quick score and to get the ball back. Well, the good news for them, though, that in the middle division, you do kick the football, unlike the little division. So you'd have an opportunity to recover an onside, but it's asking for a lot against a very good Chargers team.
Yeah, Andrew, I believe we're going to finally see our first pass of the game.
Both sides have decided that they're going to go back to the 1940s where no one threw the ball and just run the ball as much as they can, especially with their quarterback. Between Cameron Bader and Grayson Babchak, I have to say that's 90% of the offense in the entire football game.
It seems like it's been most of the defense once they get out past the tackles.
The Hornets are getting ready to go. They're going to be the home team for the big Super Bowl. Maroon Wolves will be on the far side. They're still on field A getting warmed up, so running some of their offensive plays. As we're going to see some players playing their final junior Bulldogs game before they move on to middle school football at either Wheeler or Taft. Onside kick, and is recovered by the Knights. Good catch there by 53, Jacob Kruger, to make sure that he got the ball and didn't allow the Chargers to recover. All the Knights are down 16 points. There's still 8:11 to go. They have 2 timeouts. But the Chargers defense was getting in the backfield and making life very hard for Grayson Babchak, the main ball carrier of this middle Knights team. Babchak was getting a little frustrated, a little flustered by this Chargers defense. And the Knights have to burn a timeout. Wow, that's got to hurt that you have to burn a timeout without the clock even running. And there's a late substitution. Here comes Kruger. 1 timeout left for the Knights. That is it. Even before they started the drive, they have to start on their own 49. They have to go 51 yards, score a touchdown, try to get the ball back.
They got to score quick, Andrew.
The Knights have to ask for a lot, really, here, Colin. With them being down 16 points and then really having no answer for that QB power by Cameron Bader, they have to at least score a touchdown pretty quick here and get the ball back on a onside kick, or even just try to force a 3-and-out against Cameron Bader, which has been really tough, and you only have 1 timeout to work with now.
It's going to be something. It's going to be really something to see, Andrew. But like we were talking, football, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. That's what makes the sport so great. You're always going to see something new every day. You and I even talked about it between break that we've never seen so many quarterback carries before.
No.
Between Babchak and Bader.
It's like if Lamar Jackson faced off
That's
Michael
true.
Vick.
Babchak rolling to his left. It looks like it's a pass play. He throws it with the left hand. Speaking about Mike Vick, and he got hit, and the pass was low because of the hit. The person that put the lick onto Babchak, looking for his number and wait for him to turn. That was Jackson DeVries. Second down. 8:04 to go. And the offensive coordinator is coming all the way out to talk to his quarterback here at around the 45-yard line. Knights and Chargers. Middle Super Bowl. The Mecklenburg and Bird Super Bowl. Mild, Combiella, their Region Sports Network. We're happy to have you with us. They stack that right side. Babchak rolling to his right. He's got a convoy in front of him. He's got some open space. He goes to the outside, and he gets swung out of bounds. He actually never left his feet, but that's good news for the Knights because they move past the 45 at the 44, and the clock stops. It's at 7:25.
Why's the clock running?
22-6. Chargers leading. And we got one more game after this with the Hornets and the Wolves. That's the big Super Bowl and the last one of this triple header. Babchak gets the play call, and he hustles out to his offense, waiting for the call. It's third and short. They just need a couple of yards to move the chains, but the Knights need a lot more than just a first down. They need some points, and they need them quick. Two running backs in the backfield. One receiver here to the left. Babchak pitches it. They need some blocks. It cuts back to his right, and there's a block, and that's going to be a block in the back. It's going to come back anyway. Brady Ryan got hit in the back by a lineman that might have been Jajowski. So that's going to be a 10-yard loss for the Knights. That one hurts because it was a pitch to the outside to Parker Stanitz. Stanitz saw nothing to his left, so he put his foot in the ground, started going to his right, and that's where the block in the back occurred. And it was pretty clear that was a block in the back from where we were because there was only two guys there. And Brady Ryan came up immediately, putting his hands up, looking for the flag, and he got two of them. Well, now the Knights are in their own territory again on the 44. 7:08 to go. The Knights need a big play here. Here comes the pressure from the Chargers. And Babchak going to his left. Makes a man miss. He's going to need a lot more than that. He cuts to his right, and he gets tackled again. They got maybe an inch on that play. Fourth and forever for the Knights. And Colin, you got to think if the Chargers can get a stop here, that might be the game. That might be the nail in the coffin.
6:34 left? I believe so.
Clock running. Knights only have one timeout. They're on their own 45. They got to get to the Chargers 41. So realistically, they need 14 yards on this play. It's 4th and 14. The Chargers stack the box.
There's a time to pass. It's now.
Babchak going to look to pass. He throws it deep downfield, and they're going to say that's incomplete.
There's a flag in the backfield, though.
There is a flag in the backfield, and there's a legal man downfield on the Knights. And, of course, that's going to be declined. Turnover on downs. Chargers ball. That pass was thrown for Jackson St. Germain. Colin with the 6:04 left. The Knights only have one timeout. They're down 16 points. If the Chargers score here, start the celebration for light blue. It would be a major upset in this middle division. The Chargers start their drive on the 45 of the Black Knights on the right hash. As here comes Cameron Bader for light blue. Getting close to just having 5.5 minutes to go in this ball game. 16-point game in favor of light blue, who has the ball in this final quarter. Bader under center. He's going to go to his right and tackled immediately in the backfield by Ryan Brown, who's pumped up. And why not? He had to wait a long time to come back into the game. He basically missed the entire third quarter after he was being evaluated here on the sidelines. And he seemed to be okay after making that play from his linebacker spot. A fun day from Crown Point here at the Junior Bulldog facilities. Andrew Mile and Colin Biella enjoying our time with you for the Super Bowl on the Region Sports Network. How many times do you get to call 3 Super Bowls in the same day, Colin? Not too often.
I don't know. I think this is a personal record for me.
Bader under center. They hand it off to Jefferson. Jefferson got bottled up, and the Knights bring him down back to the original line of scrimmage, the 45-yard line. Clock still moving. Chargers not looking for a big play. They're just looking to take some time off the clock. Their defense has done very well since the Knights' first drive.
If I'm the Knights and I get the stop here, I'm calling the timeout as soon as the play ends.
It would be 4th down, and if they would get another stop, then the clock would stop again. And then the Knights would have to go downfield and score a touchdown to get the ball back and try and score another touchdown. As the Hornets awaits, they've been sitting down in this north end zone on the home side. That's the side that we're on, the near sidelines. As they're going to be taking on the Maroon Wolves in the big Super Bowl.
I feel like the Wolves have the right idea over there.
Keep moving.
Warm. Yeah.
Timeout for the Chargers. They just burned their second timeout of this second half. And Colin, we went into this game, and of course, the only stats that are provided is that the Knights were undefeated. They were 7-0. They finished the regular season 6-0, clinched the regular season championship, and they won their one playoff game a week ago. But for the Chargers, they were 4-2, and they won their semifinal game to get here. But as we said it, we saw a record of one team being undefeated, the other one not, and we knew that for the Knights, the pressure was going to be on them to try and finish a perfect season.
Oh, yeah. And then the Chargers had revenge on their mind from that loss in week 2.
22-12 is a tough loss.
Oh, yeah, and it's a great close game.
And today, they're up 16.
With the 22 for them instead of for the Knights.
The clock will not move after the whistle because there was a timeout burned by light blue. They hand it off to the outside. He cuts it back in. Try to cut it back outside again. And that is a 2-yard gain. 4th down coming up after a carry from Cutler Elrich.
And there's the timeout for the Knights.
Colin Biella, you must be really good at controlling the clock in Madden.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you should be a head coach somewhere.
Oh, I think I might sign up next year.
The return to the Junior Bulldog facilities. Well, it's 4th down. The clock is stopped at 3:30 as the Black Knights elected to burn their final timeout in this spot. They're down 16 points. If they can get a stop here on this 4th and 8, then the clock will stop again. The Chargers have a 4th and 8 coming up here. And if they can get a first down, that's could be really the game because the Knights don't have any more timeouts that they can stop the clock on. They've added on 3 more seconds at 3:33. Chargers are on the ball.
I think it's something we should take up as head coaching next year, Andrew.
If only I had the time. Whistle's been blown. The clock's still sitting at 3:33, and they will not be. They're trying to get a jump offside. It's a good call. They've got it done. Bader going to his right. It's that QB power again. He bounces it to the outside, and he's going to get the first down and more. And the light blue Chargers get another big play from their quarterback. Cameron Bader's put his team on his back, and they're getting close to the finish line. He's up to the 26. He went out of bounds, so the clock stopped at 3:23, so 10 seconds were ran off the clock on that play.
Andrew, I'm starting to think that might be all she wrote.
The Knights just never found an answer to Bader in those power plays to the left and right side. Bader just did a really good job of once he had one or two men to beat, he put the moves on them and got to the outside.
It was an amazing game by both teams and a real amazing game from both quarterbacks.
Bader and Babchak. Bader gets the ball. He's going to go to his left. And he's brought down immediately by Ryan Brown. Back in the original line of scrimmage. But you have to know that with the Knights not having any timeouts, that the Chargers are going to take their sweet time on that play clock. It's at 35 seconds right now, but no whistle yet from the referees to start that play clock. And there it goes. They're going to take their time from their head coach to call the play. And once they do line up, you have to think that they're going to let that play clock roll all the way down the one before they run another play. That'd be some good time management by the light blue Chargers, who are under 3 minutes away from becoming Super Bowl champions in the middle division. Denying the Knights of a perfect season and denying the Knights of winning 2 championships across the 3 divisions. Looks like victory formation from here. And Bader does a QB sneak up the middle. He's got the first down. He pushes off a guy. He's going for the end zone, and that's all she wrote. Touchdown Chargers. They're up 28-6 with 2:19 on the clock. And that is the nail in the coffin. The Chargers are going crazy on the far sideline. And they have a lot to cheer about. They're going to win the Super Bowl. What another great run by Cameron Bader. Can't say his name enough. I know you don't hand out MVPs and Junior Bulldogs Super Bowls, but if I had to say anything, it'd probably belong to Cameron Bader. As he has done as much as he can to get his team to this spot. And they're going for the 2-point conversion here. Up 22 points, trying to make it a 24-point game. And they just give it to Jefferson. Jefferson finds a lane. He walks in. It is 30-6 Chargers. Wow.
It's crazy to think that at the beginning of the game that Cameron was hurt, and he comes back and he scores, what was it, 3 or 4 touchdowns
3
already.
or 4 touchdowns. It's something around that. But he's just had a phenomenal outing, and the Knights have had the wind knocked out of them. They just could not answer Bader. Their offense got slowed up by the pressure that the Chargers were applying on defense.
I think the referee should just stick to throwing flags instead of footballs.
There's some awful passing around from the referees.
He's holding his arm after.
Knights are going to get the ball back with no timeouts and 2:19 to go. Again, we will end this stream after the game and move on to another stream here on the Region Sports Network for their third and final game. Wolves and Hornets in the big division. There's the boot, and it goes out of bounds again. One tick ran off the clock. It's now 2:18. 2 flags thrown around the 40, and that's where the Knights' drive will start again. If you're in the Knights, you had a phenomenal season. You carried a perfect season. You're the only team across any division, I believe, to carry a perfect season all the way into the Super Bowl. And I would be right.
Hey, man, it's something to be proud of.
That is. There is an immense pressure to come back every Saturday and play for that perfect season. And if you're the only team to have done it for all other 17 teams that are in this league, that's impressive.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just going to fall one game short of that perfect season. Hand off to Stanitz, and Stanitz gets a good push. Started at the 45. He got to the 49, and that was 5 yards. Second down.
Next year, you just come back. You keep it on in the back of your mind, and then you come back stronger and better.
we got a fun one after this. The 5-1 Hornets take on the 4-1 Wolves for the Super Bowl. It'll still be me, Andrew Mile, and Colin Biella braving the conditions here at the Junior Bulldogs. As Babchak trying to go to his left, and he stiff arms the quarterback Bader, who's a cornerback this time. He is still going. How is Babchak still doing this? And he finally gets tackled. That was an incredible run. It unfortunately only went for 1 yard, and we're getting close to just 1 minute left. And Babchak is coming up a little bit limpy as he was tripped up. There was a man that hit him in the leg as he got hit from up top by Bader. And the referee is going to... thought he had signaled for an injury timeout, but he's not. Third down from the 49. And you see some of the light blue Chargers players on their sideline jumping up and down, either trying to stay warm or they're pretty excited they're going to get some trophies and call themselves Super Bowl champions. Babchak going all the way to his right. He is way behind, and he is still going. He broke a tackle. He's going back to his left. He breaks another tackle, and he finally goes down. Under 35 seconds. Babchak still slow to get up, and there comes some subs, and it looks like the Knights are just going to concede. The light blue Chargers are middle Super Bowl champions. They can start the celebration. They have dethroned the undefeated Black Knights in this Super Bowl. They're jumping up and down, hugs all for one another. It's all over. What a game, Colin. What a story. What a win by the light blue Chargers.
Incredible game. They both played very well, and one team has to come out on top, and it just happened to be the Chargers today. Congrats to them, and great job to the Knights for their performance and having such an amazing season.
Unfortunately, you can only have one champion. That champion is the light blue Chargers. We're going to take a break, and we come back. More football from Junior Bulldogs. It's going to be the Green Hornets and the Maroon Wolves, the third and final game. Don't go anywhere.
This box is small, like Pet Supplies Plus. This one is large, like a big box store. In each, Stu, hi Stu, has carefully hidden a toy. Question is, which dog will find it first? Ta-da! Moose, no! You were so close.
We would like to honor the Super Bowl runner-up, the Black Knights. Congratulations on the wonderful season. And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the players for the 2022 Middle Super Bowl champion, the light blue Chargers. Coach Mike Edison will now read the names of his players.